You know that feeling, right? You're in a room, a joke is told, everyone bursts out laughing, and you're just standing there, kind of smiling, trying to figure out what you missed. Well, that awkward moment actually tells us something really deep about how we communicate. So today, we're going to crack the secret code of cultural humor and figure out why some jokes land and others get totally lost in translation. All right, to get us started, let's look at a classic English pun. Time flies like an arrow, fruit flies like a banana. It's a pretty famous bit of wordplay, but for our purposes, think of it as the first clue in a mystery that we're about to solve together. So what do you think? Did you get it? Maybe you chuckled, maybe you groaned, or maybe you just thought, huh, that's just weird. And if you did, you're not alone. Especially if English isn't your first language, and honestly, even if it is, it can just sound like two completely random sentences. And that right there is the whole point. See, this is exactly where things fall apart. When you translate it literally, that first part, time flies like an arrow, is a beautiful metaphor. We get it. But the second part, it just becomes this dry scientific fact about insects and their dietary preferences. The actual humor, that little spark of cleverness, is completely gone. Okay, so where did the joke actually go? To find it, we've got to stop thinking literally. We have to dig a little deeper. So let's unpack this punchline and see what's really happening under the hood. The whole thing, the entire magic trick of this joke, hinges on one little five-letter word, flies. This one word is playing two different roles, and our brain is the audience that gets tricked by its performance. And here is the secret. In English, the word flies can be two completely different things. It can be a verb, an action, like a bird flying, but it can also be a noun, the name for those little insects. The whole joke is built on that clever little ambiguity. So here's how the trap is set. The first sentence, time flies, gets your brain running on one track. It establishes a pattern, subject, verb. So when you hear the next phrase, you automatically try to fit it into that same pattern, but it doesn't work. Your brain hits a wall and has to back up and reread it. Suddenly you realize, oh, fruit flies, the insects, is the subject, and like is the verb. That sudden switch, that little mental gymnastics, that's the punchline. But it's not always about clever wordplay. Sometimes a joke has nothing to do with grammar and everything to do with a shared understanding of the world. And this is where we get to the really secret ingredient, shared cultural context. Let's try another one. Why did the turkey cross the road? He was trying to prove he wasn't chicken. Now, on the surface, this is just a silly little joke, but to really, truly get it, you need to know a lot more than just what the words mean. So let's really break it down. What specific pieces of information, what little files of cultural knowledge do you need to have stored away in your brain for this punchline to actually land? Well, it turns out you need three very specific things. First, you have to be familiar with that old classic joke, why did the chicken cross the road? Second, you need that piece of U.S. cultural trivia that turkeys are the star of the show on Thanksgiving. And third, this is the real key. You have to know that chicken is common slang for a coward. If any one of those three pieces is missing, the whole joke just falls flat. Right? Without all three of those cultural keys, the joke is basically meaningless. And this shows us something huge, that really understanding a culture's humor is a massive leap towards true fluency. It's so much more than just memorizing vocabulary. Here's a simple way to think about it. Language gives you the building blocks, the words, the grammar, the literal meaning. But culture? Culture gives you the blueprint. It's all the stories we share, the unspoken rules, the common experiences that give those words their real meaning and power. So what's the big takeaway here? It's that a joke isn't just a joke. It's like a secret handshake. It's a quick test to see if you're on the inside of a culture, if you share that common ground. When you laugh at the same thing as someone else, it means that for just a second, you're seeing the world through their eyes. It's a little window into a culture's shared mind. And that really leaves us with one last big question. Humor might seem like a small thing, but it's built on a deep foundation of shared understanding. So if you can genuinely share a laugh with someone from a totally different background, what else can you share? What other walls start to come down?